Dani Alves is a player who has made a number of golden marks during his football career. The Brazilian has left an extraordinary mark in 3 of Europe's top leagues: La Liga, Serie A, and Ligue 1. However, before achieving this success, Alves' childhood wasn't as fortunate as that of other children. From a young age, he was accustomed to helping his father, a farmer, in Juazeiro, a small town in Bahia, Brazil. Every day, Alves never slept on a soft mattress. He slept on a mattress that was far from comfortable. In the mornings, he often complained of back pain. According to These Football Times, Alves' routine activity as a young man was farming. Even when his family couldn't eat, he would go hunting. Feeling he had a knack for playing football, Alves decided to try practicing with his friends. However, he couldn't easily play the ball. He had to travel 12 miles from his home to play. When he played for his first team, Juazeiro, at the age of 10, Alves played as a right winger. However, due to his lack of goal-scoring ability, his father suggested he play as a right back. This advice was given so Alves could realize his dream of changing his and his family's fortunes. At the age of 13, Alves officially enrolled in a soccer school in a city much larger than his hometown. There, he had to sleep in a hut with 100 other children. Alves experienced a heartbreaking experience, one he will likely never forget. When he first entered the football academy, Alves was given 2 soccer jerseys by his father, as he only owned one. Then, when one of his shirts was washed and hung out to dry, it was stolen. Although disappointed, Alves considered this a lesson learned. Alves felt incredibly sad. However, what made him even more depressed was missing his family. Slowly but surely, he began to recover. Alves remembered that his goal in playing football was to provide for his family. At the age of 18, he played for Bahia, where his talents began to develop. With Bahia, he won the Copa do Nordeste in 2002. His consistent performances attracted the attention of Spanish club Sevilla. Initially, Alves knew nothing about Sevilla. At the time, he simply didn't want the offer to fall through because he didn't know about the club. Then, after Sevilla made an official offer, Alves began researching the club. He eventually agreed to a loan move in the summer of 2003. He initially played with Sevilla's youth team. However, language barriers prevented him from being given a chance to play with the first team, leading to a lack of confidence. Alves even considered returning to Brazil and ending it all. However, his father became his driving force. He continued his struggle until he broke into Sevilla's first team. Ultimately, he spent 6 years there, discovering many interesting things, gaining new experiences, and making valuable friends. In June 2006, Sevilla agreed to sell Alves to Liverpool. However, the transfer fell through as Liverpool were unable to meet Sevilla's asking price of around £8 million. Then, in December 2006, Sevilla decided to extend Alves' contract, tying him to the club until 2012. Alves then had a successful 2006-07 season, making 47 appearances and scoring 5 goals. He was trusted to play in every match in Sevilla's UEFA Cup campaign, leading Sevilla to victory. Furthermore, Alves also won other trophies, including the UEFA Super Cup and the Copa del Rey. On the 1st of August 2007, Alves told Sport TV that he wanted to leave Sevilla to join a European giant. He later reiterated his desire to leave Sevilla, telling Marca that he was flattered by Chelsea's interest and that he would never turn down such an opportunity. However, Sevilla rejected an unspecified offer from Chelsea, and 6 days later, they rejected 2 other offers from Chelsea, deeming them far below their expectations. Alves later expressed his disappointment with Sevilla president José María del Nido for rejecting Chelsea's offer, who then signed another Brazilian fullback, Juliano Belletti, for a much lower fee. After a war of words between Alves and Del Nido, but after the death of his teammate Antonio Puerta changed everything, where Alves decided to stay with Sevilla and chose to make peace with the club president. A season later, an offer from Barcelona arrived, which ultimately led to Alves' departure from Sevilla. Dani Alves was clearly overjoyed to join Barcelona. For a fee of £23 million, or around Rp 441 billion at current exchange rates, Alves signed a 4-year contract with Barcelona. He joined Pep Guardiola's Barcelona and made his debut against Wisła Krakow in the first leg of the Champions League third qualifying round on 13 August 2008. It was at this Catalan club that he ultimately achieved everything. In fact, in his debut season, Alves immediately won several prestigious trophies with Barcelona, including the Champions League, La Liga, and the Copa del Rey. There, he became a truly vital player for Barcelona and Guardiola. In his second season with Barcelona, Alves successfully defended the La Liga title. In fact, in the 2010-2011 season, Alves played a key role in Barca's third consecutive La Liga title defense. He also led Barcelona to another Champions League title at Wembley in 2011. As the years passed, Alves' love affair with Barcelona continued to be filled with prestigious titles. In 2015, he even led Barca to 3 major titles in a single season. This made him the first player to win 2 trebles, joining the likes of Lionel Messi, Andres Iniesta, Xavi Hernandez, Gerard Piqué, Pedro, and Sergio Busquets. With this achievement, Alves officially extended his contract with Barcelona for another 2 years. Unfortunately, during his 2-year contract with FC Barcelona, Alves encountered numerous obstacles. It wasn't because his performance was far from satisfactory, but rather because he felt unsatisfied due to disputes with the club's management. After spending 8 incredible seasons with the Blaugrana, Alves surprisingly chose to leave Camp Nou. Barcelona's then-manager Luis Enrique even admitted he was surprised by the decision of one of his key players. When asked about his reasons for leaving Barcelona, Alves revealed that he no longer had the trust of the club's top brass. However, he also has no regrets about his decision to leave. "I don't regret it because I didn't trust the people in charge of Barcelona at the time," he said. Apart from the fact that he no longer trusted the club's top brass, FC Barcelona at that time also seemed to want to get rid of him by buying a new right-back, Alex Vidal. During his 8 seasons at Barcelona, Alves made 391 appearances and scored 21 goals. He also recorded 97 assists and won 23 trophies. Leaving Barcelona, Alves then went to Italy to join Juventus in Serie A. Until finally the team he was defending at that time met Blaugrana, the former team that had dumped him, which happened in the quarterfinals of the 2016-2017 Champions League. In that match, Juventus defeated Barca 3-0 on aggregate, however, advancing to the next round as Juventus left Alves feeling uneasy. He still acknowledged that Barcelona is the team he will always love. After the match, Alves approached Neymar and embraced his crying former teammate. He expressed his sadness at the failure of Barcelona, which featured many of his close friends. "It's a strange, painful feeling, knowing I have memories of living here and I have to return as enemies," he said. However, his adventure in Italy was short-lived. On the 29th of June, 2017, Alves' contract with Juventus was terminated by mutual consent. He made 33 appearances, winning the 2016-2017 Serie A title and the Coppa Italia in his loan season in Turin. Alves then tried his luck by moving to Paris, joining French giants Paris Saint-Germain on a free transfer, signing a 2-year contract. Alves made his debut for the club on July 29 in the 2017 Trophée des Champions. His current adventure was equally short-lived, similar to his spells with Sevilla and Barcelona. During his 2 seasons with the French Giants, he won 2 French League titles, 1 Coupe de France, 1 French League Cup, and 2 French Super Cups. After his contract with the club expired on the 30th of June 2019, Alves became a free agent. However, he once again disappointed Barcelona by persuading Neymar to leave the Spanish club and join PSG. This would later become the world's most expensive transfer record. After his contract in France expired, Alves returned to his native Brazil to play for Sao Paulo. A loyal Sao Paulo supporter, Alves had previously expressed his desire to play for the club. He was welcomed at the Morumbi Stadium in front of 44,000 fans. Club legends such as Hernanes, Kaká, and Luis Fabiano were also present to welcome him. At his new club, Alves wore the number 10 shirt. He made his debut on the 18th of August 2019, scoring the only goal in a 1-0 league win over Ceará at the Morumbi. Although primarily a right-back throughout his career, he primarily played in midfield during his time at Sao Paulo, particularly during Fernando Diniz' tenure between 2019 and 2021. He was also named first-team captain upon his arrival. However, after new manager Hernan Crespo took over in 2021, the captain's armband was passed to Miranda, who returned to the club after a decade. At the same time, Crespo also shifted Alves back into a more defensive role, playing him at right back. Then, in May, Alves played a key role in Sao Paulo's Campeonato Paulista triumph, ending an 8-year trophy drought. The 2021 Campeonato Paulista Champions medal with Sao Paulo marks Alves' 43rd trophy. He surpassed Egyptian icon Hossam Hassan, who had amassed 41 titles with Al Ahly and Zamalek. Furthermore, Alves also surpassed his former Barcelona teammate Andres Iniesta, who had 37 titles, along with fellow Brazilian defender Maxwell. Unfortunately, he later became embroiled in a dispute with the club's management, who reportedly hadn't paid the majority of his wages. This led to the club terminating his contract 6 days later. On the 12th of November 2021, Barcelona announced the signing of Alves on a contract until the end of the season. Alves' return to Barcelona was not without reason. He was delighted to have the club back under the control of President Joan Laporta. Furthermore, the then 8-year-old player also felt that Barcelona still needed his services and wanted to help rebuild the club, which was then in financial crisis. Since Alves' departure from the club in 2016, Barcelona has spent 85 million euros, or around Rp 1.3 trillion, on right-backs. However, the players brought in have reportedly failed to exceed or even match his level of play. Despite only playing half a season in his second spell with the Blaugrana, he made a tremendous impact on Barcelona, which was experiencing a financial crisis at the time and was filled with many young players. Unfortunately, this time he did not win any titles. Then on the 15th of June 2022, Alves announced via a post on his Instagram account that he would be leaving Barcelona for the second time, After making 408 competitive appearances for the club, the second highest number by a foreign player, only Lionel Messi has more appearances than him. Alves then signed a one-year contract with Liga MX club UNAM in the Torneo Clausura. Unfortunately, on the 20th of January 2023, he was arrested by police on sexual assault charges. UNAM decided to terminate his contract after only half a season, although Alves was ultimately found not guilty and acquitted of the rape charges. He remains considered one of the best fullbacks of his generation and of all time. Alves is a right back or offensive wingback, known in particular for his pace, stamina, and excellent crossing accuracy and good distribution, which allows him to link up with the midfielders and makes him an effective provider of assists along the right flank. According to Transfermarkt, Alves has scored 59 goals and 169 assists in 815 matches across all competitions. He has earned 118 caps for the Brazilian national team, scoring 8 goals. Alves has also won 3 trophies with Bahia, 5 with Sevilla, 23 with Barcelona, 2 with Juventus, 6 with Paris Saint-Germain, 1 with Sao Paulo, and 3 with the Brazilian national team. His total of 43 trophies made him the player with the most trophies before being surpassed by Lionel Messi.